Masterpiece. It's the word every film critic loves to throw around. It's like the golden ticket of cinema. But what actually makes a movie a masterpiece? Is it the Oscars? Is it the critics? Is it the fans who endlessly quote it at parties until you want to hide in the bathroom? Or is it something more mysterious, like the vibe of the film itself? Today, we're tackling that question. What makes a film a masterpiece? And who really decides it? Spoiler alert, it's not always the Academy. Okay, let's start with the obvious. When you hear the word masterpiece, your brain probably goes to movies like The Godfather, Citizen Kane, Schindler's List, or Parasite. These are the films everyone nods along to like they've actually watched them more than once, when in reality, half the time, people are just bluffing and praying that no one asks for specifics. Citizen Kane fans, I'm looking at you. Yeah, it's a masterpiece, but most folks are still secretly Googling what the heck Rosebud even means. A masterpiece in its simplest sense is a film that feels timeless. It hits you emotionally, intellectually, and maybe even spiritually. It's not just entertainment, it's homework with feelings. You'll walk out of it with tears in your eyes, your brain in knots, and your soul whispering, "Deep stuff, bro." It's the kind of movie where you finish watching and immediately text a friend, not to discuss the movie, but to flex that you watched it, while simultaneously praying that they don't ask you what you actually got out of it. Because really, half the time, you're just like, I didn't get it, but I felt it. So that counts, right? But here's where it gets tricky. Who actually decides if a movie is a masterpiece? Is it legendary critics like Roger Ebert? Some film studies professor with elbow patches and a Criterion Collection shrine? Or maybe it's just some dude on YouTube. Hi, that's me, ranting with way too much caffeine in his system. And then there's the audience, who might say a movie is a masterpiece if it made them cry, laugh, or cheer so hard they dumped nacho cheese all over the poor soul sitting in front of them. Critics tend to crown a masterpiece based on the art. The directing, the cinematography, the script layered thicker than a lasagna. Meanwhile, audiences sometimes just want a good time, and if it made them feel something beyond, wow, that popcorn was salty, then boom, masterpiece. Sometimes, both groups actually agree. The Shawshank Redemption gets a standing ovation here, and other times, you get the Transformers making $1 billion while critics are like, the movie is cinematic garbage fire, and the audiences are like, yeah, but that robot turned into a truck, and it was awesome. Another huge part of masterpiece status? Culture. A movie doesn't just sit on your Blu-ray shelf gathering dust, it breaks out, crawls into your brain, and sets up shop in everyday life. Take Pulp Fiction. Even if you've never sat through the whole thing, you know the dance scene, you know the Royale with cheese scene, and you know Samuel L. Jackson quoting Bible verses like he's a preacher at Comic-Con. That's cultural osmosis. Some films earn their masterpiece badge not because they are flawless works of art, but because they changed the game. When Star Wars hit in 1977, it didn't just sell tickets, it basically founded a new religion where lightsabers are the holy relics. Same with The Matrix. After that movie, slow motion wasn't just a camera trick, it was a personality trait. Everyone was suddenly wearing black trench coats, dodging Nerf darts in bullet time, and pretending sunglasses indoors looked cool. If a film rewires how we talk, how we dress, or even how we meme, then congratulations, it's probably knocking on the door of masterpiece status and kicking it open in leather boots. Here's a real kicker. A true masterpiece usually passes the test of time. It's not just hyped in the year it came out, it sticks. A lot of films are called instant classics, but let's be honest, not every 2010s blockbuster aged well. Looking at you, Avatar. Yeah, it made billions, but how many people are quoting Avatar lines today? Exactly. Meanwhile, a film like Casablanca from the 1940s is still iconic. Why? Because the story, the characters, the themes, they resonate beyond the era. A masterpiece is like fine wine, or in the case of cult classics, like cheap whiskey that somehow keeps getting better the more you drink it. Then it gets personal. Sure, they are the universal masterpieces, the ones critics and film buffs bow down to like they're in some cinematic church. But then there are the personal masterpieces. These might not be sitting at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, but they hit you right in the soul. Maybe it's Spider-Man 2. Maybe it's The Dark Knight. Maybe it's Shrek 2. No judgment here. But let's be real, that soundtrack slapped harder than a donkey one-liner. Your personal masterpiece is the movie you rewatch when you're down. The one that made you think, yeah, I want to make movies. Or the one that introduced you to an actor you now irrationally defend in every online argument. And that's the beauty of cinema. The word masterpiece doesn't have to be locked away by critics in tweed jackets sipping espresso. Sometimes it's not about Oscars or Metacritic scores. Sometimes your heart just points to a movie and goes, that's my masterpiece. And honestly, that's valid. Now, all that said, a film doesn't have to be perfect to be a masterpiece. The Godfather? Masterpiece, but it's long enough to legally qualify as an endurance sport. The Dark Knight? Incredible, but we all admit the cell phone sonar thing was kinda silly. Even Citizen Kane, the so-called greatest film of all time, has people today calling it boring but important. I'm not one of those people, by the way. A masterpiece isn't flawless, it's magnetic, it's unforgettable. It's that movie that decades later still makes you say, yeah, that one hit different. So, what makes a film a masterpiece at the end of the day? It's part art, part culture, part timing, and part you. Critics, awards, and history books can shout their opinions, but at the end of the day, the title of masterpiece is a shared crown, worn by films that move us collectively and personally. Now, it's your turn. What's your personal masterpiece? Drop it in the comments, and let's see how many people say The Room, just to be funny. Also, if you like what you just saw, please do like and share this video. And subscribe to Moviematic. We'd really appreciate it. If you don't, thank you so much for watching this video all the same. You take care and have a great one.